Here we are, day 2 of the annual BAPCO Conference in Coventry. I'm with Daryll Keen, who in a former life was chair of the 999 Liason Committee and is a non-exec director in BAPCO. Daryll, we do know that you have a very keen affiliation with the whole digital transformation piece, where we need to go with emergency services and also, more importantly, for the public and how they engage. And likewise important for the emergency services, how they then can cope and deal with the volumes of call, one that BT are having to manage, but also then the data that we can actually give efficiently and effectively into control rooms. Give us a little bit of a summary where you think it's going and maybe some timescales.
Yeah, okay, so I think some of the biggest challenges we face are that the emergency services and the 999 system itself, it has the potential to be massively overwhelmed. The volume of calls at the moment, we're talking about 30 plus million calls a year. You don't need much of a percentage increase to put a lot of pressure on the system, and BT know that and tell us about that in the 999 Liaison Committee quite regularly. And they do a fantastic job maintaining controls around the volume there and doing what they can to prevent that volume impacting the emergency services too seriously. The future, though, of course, is that more and more information might come to us and more calls might come to us via digital means. TapSOS is one example of an application that has provided calls electronically through the system. Real Ride is another opportunity. We've assessed those through the accreditation process on the 999 accreditation, 999LC accreditation panel. But that's not viable going forward, because more and more devices will be able to connect to the emergency services. The Internet of Things is going to bring connected devices to us. So more and more devices will be able to provide some form of emergency call. So we need to think about that now. We need to think about what a standard might look like. We don't want to be in a position where that prevents device manufacturers and application manufacturers from developing their systems. We want to actually encourage that because it might make the public safer. But what we do want to do is get to a point where when those systems are sold to the public are very clear what they can expect, and the public get what they've been sold. And so we don't want to be in a position whereby you buy an Apple Watch, a Google Pixel phone, or you log into TapSOS and the system is sold to you as something that will give you an emergency response in your time of need, but in reality, when it gets to the emergency services, it's either discarded, not able to be handled, or doesn't achieve that appropriate response.
Yeah.
So as an emergency service community, I think we've got a responsibility to make sure that we do that really well, that we implement a standard that is effective, efficient, and provides the data for the emergency service to be able to respond well, and that happens smooth and seamlessly every time. So consistency is really important. So for me, I think the most important aspect of all of this is to get to a point where we've got a standard that everybody can adopt, that every organisation uses then to sell their products to the public. And actually, personally, I think there's a great commercial advantage in us working together on this, because I recognise that the commercial organisations want to sell product, and that's great. So let's make sure that product works really well, really effectively, and that it supports emergency services in providing a good response to the public.
Yeah. Well, look, Daryll, I just want to personally wish you and BAPCO particularly every success in championing this, getting it forward there, and hopefully in the not too distant future, maybe not 10 years, but hopefully we can do things like pandemic brought such a speed of change that hopefully in this next 24 months we can see some of that digital transformation. Thank you, Daryll.
Thanks, Les. Appreciate that.